Keep walking, the boy beside her whispered. If you stop, they'll count the bullets. Tamsin didn't stop. She kept her chin high, boots silent on cracked stone, heart knocking so loud she thought the soldiers could hear it. Smoke hung over the broken street like a low ceiling. Banners from both sides were ripped, tangled in the wind. She tasted metal and ash dot under her sleeve. A single cartridge pressed her wrist. It looked like any dull brass round. It wasn't. Inside that shell, tight and perfect, was a ring. Not gold. Steel, slim, smooth, cold as a promise you make when you're terrified. Ryan walked half a step ahead. He wore an old worker's jacket and a calm face he didn't feel. His jaw was sharp with fear. In his pocket was the twin bullet. His ring. Their plan. A secret wedding smuggled through the teeth of a war. They reached the first checkpoint. Masks, rifles, a flag painted on a rusted gate. The nearest soldier raised a hand. Papers. Ryan handed over forged work slips. Tamsin kept her eyes on the soldier's gloves. There was oil under his nails. His boots were tied wrong. He didn't look cruel. He looked tired. The soldier scanned the slips, then glanced at the cartridges tucked in their belts. You're carrying live rounds? Tamsin swallowed. Scrap, she said. For the foundry? The soldier hesitated. His gaze went to the horizon, to the smoke shape of the city's broken tower. He lifted 2 fingers and tapped his brow in an old salute. By law, he said, voice flat, love passes first. The gate creaked open. Tamsin blinked. She had heard the words in bedtime tailies, the banner law, a relic from before the war. If 2 people crossed a line with rings in their hands, no blade could stop them. Love passes first. She thought it was a myth. Ryan's hand brushed hers. They slipped through. The second checkpoint sat in a street of burned-out trams. A woman with gray hair inspected their empty bags. Her eyes softened when she found the cartridges. She didn't disarm them. She didn't shout. By law, she murmured, almost kind, love passes first. Another gate. Another step closer to the old river chapel that still stood because both sides were afraid to shell a place where vows echo. Ryan leaned close as they walked. It's real, he breathed. We're going to make it. Tamsin let herself imagine it briefly. Music from a pocket radio. Her father's scarf tied to the railing as a banner, their rings sliding free from brass and smoke. A vow said under a shattered roof. She squeezed the bullet at her wrist. Please hold, she told it. Please don't fall. They reached the third checkpoint at dusk. This one had sandbags and a mounted gun. The officer behind it wore a black coat with a red stitch on the sleeve. Her gaze was like a blade. Papers, she said. Ryan offered them. The officer didn't look. Her eyes were on Tamsin's wrist, where the cartridge had slid lower and peeked from her sleeve like a secret tooth. Open the shells, the officer ordered. Tamsin froze. They're scrap. Open them. Ryan stepped between them. Ma'am, by the banner law I know the law, the officer said. She lifted her hand, palm up. Open them. Tamsin's fingers shook as she twisted the cap. The brass squealed. The bullet nose came off. She tipped the shell, and the ring slid into her palm, small, bright, impossible. The officer's face did not soften. She tapped her brow in the same old salute. By law, she said, love passes first. Then she smiled, and the smile felt wrong. Escort them, she told her squad, to the river. 2 soldiers fell in behind, not chasing, not cruel watching. Ryan glanced at Tamsin. She felt the fear rise again, a tide under her ribs. The words were a key, yes, but maybe the key opened more than one door. They reached the chapel at the river's bend. Half the roof was gone, wind poured through, water hissed below on black stones. Candles still burned there, melted into tin cups, wax like broken teeth. Inside waited a priest in a patched coat, and the officer with the red stitch. Tamsin's breath hitched. The officer set a small iron box on the altar. It was old. Its hinges were etched with tiny banners and a sun. This is not a wedding, the officer said, voice almost gentle. It's a passage. The law is older than your parents' war. It says love passes first, but first where? Tamsin stared at the box. We just want vows, she said. We want to live. You will? The officer said. if you carry what love demands. She opened the box. Inside lay a thin strip of metal, shaped like a broken crown. Etched words glimmered. Tamsin couldn't read them. The letters were from before. Ryan stepped back. What is that? The switch, the priest whispered. When two meet under the banners with rings in their hands, they may pass. But they don't pass alone. They become the carriers, they switch the city on. The floor trembled. The river hissed louder. Tamsin felt heat under her skin like light waking. The tower heart has slept, the officer said. It listens for vows. It needs two true names. It needs the rings to turn the lock. We cannot force it. War tried. It does not bend to rifles. It bends to promises. She looked at Tamsin. Do you understand? You are not a trick that slipped through. You are the answer the city asked for. Ryan's face went white. You used us, he said, voice cracking. You knew the checkpoints would send us to you. We followed the law, the officer said. We honored it. We are at war, but even war kneels when love walks. Tamsin's heart battled itself. Rage, wonder, fear. She had wanted a small vow in a broken place. She was being given a key to light an ancient giant. What happens if we refuse? She asked. Then the heart keeps sleeping, the officer said. And the siege goes on, and the dead keep counting, and the river eats another year. And if we agree, the priest lifted the broken crown. One of you offers your true name to the tower. It will burn that name into the city. The other offers a vow to guard it. The one who gives the name will not be the same. Old stories say the city takes what it needs. Tamsin felt Ryan's fingers find hers. They were cold. Tam, he whispered, only for her. We wanted to live, but what if living means this? She saw a child playing in a street with chalk. She saw her mother's laugh. She saw the banner on the officer's sleeve and the river and the tower that had watched them all. She saw Ryan's eyes, blue as a winter sky. Her voice was small. I don't know. The tower hummed, like a sleeping beast rolling closer to wake. Ryan squeezed her hand, then he let go. He stepped toward the altar. Take my name, he said, rough. Let her be the guard. Tamsin grabbed his sleeve. Don't you dare, she said. We decide together. The officer lifted a hand. Choose, she said. Now the heart is open. The candles flickered out at once. The chapel fell dark except for a thin line of light inside the iron box. It blinked like an eye. The floor shook. Somewhere above, the tower's core turned, gears grating, stones sighing. Tamsin took a breath that tasted like river and iron. She reached for her ring. Wait, the priest said, urgent. Before you bind, tell the truth, all of it. Ryan's mouth trembled. He looked at Tamsin and then at the officer. Fine, he said. I will, because she deserves it, he swallowed. I wasn't sent to marry you. I was sent to find the one the city would choose. The iron box flared white. Don't look away, Tamsin whispered to him, even as her world tilted, even as her heart cracked, even as the tower began to sing. Want the next turn of this vow? Follow now so you don't miss part 2.